Welcome, my beautiful souls, and welcome back to the Rambling Psychic Podcast. So, today we are picking back up on the tarot meanings, but in specifically the major arcanas. And we are up to the Emperor. So, let's talk about the Emperor. The Emperor is the fourth card of the major arcana in a tarot deck, and representing a powerful and foundational archetype. He stands for authority, structure, control, stability, and leadership. He is often seen as the masculine counterpart to the Empress, balancing her nurturing and creative energy with order and discipline. You know, when I do my tarot readings, many of you know this who, follow the readings. When I see the Emperor and the Empress in a reading together, I call them my power couple. Now, whether that mean in love, and that depends on what comes around it. But many times that's what you'll see. And I feel like it's two high vibrational energies coming together. But I also feel they could be fantastic collaborators, partners, build a business, and truly, truly succeed. So I really love the two of them together. Okay, so let's do a little bit more detailed breakdown of the Emperor's meaning in tarot. So the Emperor is typically depicted as an older, regal figure seated on a stone throne, often adored with ram's heads, which symbolizes Aries and its association with leadership, determination, and initiation. He holds a scepter in one hand, symbolizing life, and an orb representing worldly authority in the other. He often wears red robes, signifying passion and decisive action, and armor, indicating strength and readiness for action. A stark, barren mountain range in the background emphasizes his unyielding power and steadfastness. So let's think of some key meanings. This is going to be in the upright. So when you're doing a reading and the Emperor comes in the upright, it could have many different meanings, but here's some of the main meanings. Authority and leadership. The Emperor signifies a strong leader, someone who takes charge, makes decisions, and provides direction. This can be you. Can be a father figure, boss, or any influential person in your life. Can also mean structure and order. This card points to the establishment of roles, systems, and discipline. It suggests a need for clear boundaries, organization, and a methodical approach to achieve these goals. Stability and security. The Emperor brings a sense of groundedness and protection. It indicates a secure foundation, both materially and emotionally. All right, so control and discipline. It highlights the ability to master oneself and one's environment through self-control, reason, and strategic planning. The father figure often represents a paternal influence, providing guidance, protection, and a sense of responsibility. I have to say also, in the readings, many times when I see the Emperor, especially at the bottom of the deck, I do feel like this father's influence coming in. And I usually feel it's from a father figure who has crossed over, who is now one of your guides. So keep that in mind also. And we will be doing some videos that we'll do the full journey with them using the Major Arcana. So look forward to that. All right, so let's keep going. Logic and reason. This card emphasizes a rational approach to situations, advocating for clear thinking over emotional impulses. Achievement and ambition. The Emperor suggests a time for asserting your power, taking initiation, and making methodical progress towards your ambitions. All right, so let's talk about when the Emperor shows up in reverse. The Emperor's energies become imbalanced or distorted, often indicating can be an abuse of power, excessive control, or a dictator type approach. This can be you or someone else being overly rigid, inflexible, or even oppressive. So there can be a lack of control or discipline, feeling powerless, chaotic, or unable to establish order in your life. This could mean a lack of self-discipline or an inability to follow through on your plans. Could also talk about resisting necessary structures, struggling with authority figures, or a general disdain for roles in general. The Emperor in reverse definitely can talk about immaturity or weakness, shying away from responsibility, being indecisive, or failing to step up as a leader when needed. And again, the father figure can highlight unresolved conflicts or challenges related to a paternal figure, either absent or maybe over-controlling. It's going to be different for everyone, but normally in a reading, you'll understand it, at least if you have a good reader, I feel. So another thing with the Emperor in reverse can certainly represent stubbornness, being unwilling to compromise, stuck in old ways, or too inflexible to adapt to new circumstances. So that is with the Emperor in reverse. So let's break it down a little bit more and let's talk about love and relationships. So love and relationships with the Emperor in the upright indicates a relationship built on stability, commitment, respect, and shared responsibilities. It may represent a partner who is dependable, protective, and takes charge, or a need to bring more structure and common sense into the relationship. It's about building something that lasts. Now, if it's reversed in love, it can suggest an imbalance of power, dominance, control issues, or manipulation within a relationship, like a narcissist, that type of energy. It might point to a partner who's overly possessive or emotionally distant. It can also signify a lack of commitment or a resistance to traditional relationship structures. All right, so let's talk about career and finances. So in the upright, it's a very favorable card for career and finances. It suggests leadership roles, promotions, strong management skills, and a methodical approach to achieving personal goals, professional goals. Financially, it indicates stability, wise investments, disciplined budgeting, and building long-term wealth. Now, in reverse, it may indicate a lack of structure or discipline in the workplace, a stifling work environment, I get that, or an abusive authority figure like a boss. We've all had those bosses. Financially, it can signify disorganization, poor financial management, or feeling overwhelmed and out of control with money. So let's talk about health and self-care. In the upright, it encourages a disciplined approach to health, establishing healthy routines and taking charge of your well-being. In reverse, it can suggest a lack of self-discipline in health matters, neglecting self-care, or feeling powerless over your health. Okay, so let's talk about the symbols and the connection. So it is a number 4, represents, a number 4 represents stability, foundation, structure, and order, like the 4 walls of a house, the 4 elements, 4 seasons. And in astrology, it's strongly associated with Aries, cardinal fire sign ruled by Mars, which embodies initiation, leadership, courage, and a pioneering spirit. It is fire, reflecting passion, drive, and action. So, in summary, the Emperor card is a powerful symbol of order, control, and authority. When it appears, it often encourages you to take charge, establish structure, and lead with discipline and wisdom. Its reverse meanings warn against the pitfalls of excessive control or a complete lack of thereof. So, this is our Emperor. I have to say that there's other meanings that I associate with the Emperor, like in readings often. And again, depending on what comes around it, you always want to look at what's coming around it, what's mirroring it. And what I mean by that is, like, when you do a spread, let's say you're doing a 5-card spread, the first card and the 5th card, like I just did I think it's a Twinflame reading, and I had the Empress as the first card and the Emperor as the 5th card, and they were looking at each other. So they were speaking to each other. And then we had the Ace of Cups right between them, so I knew that was love. But that's what I mean, like, seeing what's around it. Also, I know a lot of my subscribers, and even those who are new, you're thinking about, like, building your own business. And I feel like the Emperor is a great representation of what can be success if one is willing to put in the work, of course. So this is our Emperor. We will definitely, again, do a video where I think what I'm going to do is maybe do a couple more Major Arcanas and then do an actual video. And I'll leave the link for those who just listened to the podcast of the Major Arcanas in action, and we'll tell some different stories with them. So I'm going to let that be. But as always, I thank you so much. I thank you for your support of not just my channel on YouTube, but my podcast on Buzzsprout. And I kind of combine them together now. So this is our Emperor. We will see you next time at the Hierophant's energy. The Hierophant. Love you guys. Bye-bye.